Good morning, and thanks for being here for the announcement of a great continuation celebration here in our state. I'm Dave Baker, and Bridget and Julian have both told me that this is absolutely the only time I want to be sitting in this chair, and I agree with them on a regular basis. But we are delighted that you are here this morning. We want to talk about the Centennial of Kentucky High School basketball. It's a great partnership between the KHSAA, the Kentucky Association of Basketball Coaches, Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame, and we've been blessed to partner up with those folks for a long, long time on a lot of different projects. So we're going to give you a real brief overview in terms of what's going on, and hopefully you'll be able to take it out and share it to your folks across the state. There'll be time to ask questions in this format, and then for those of you in the media, there'll be time to answer questions in a one-on-one format as well. So without any further ado, I'll turn it over to the Commissioner of the Kentucky High School Athletic Association, Mr. Julian Tackett.
Thank you, Dave. Real briefly, because you're not here to talk about us. To the world, track's the original sport, but to Kentucky, basketball's the original sport. It always has been. It's the reason we were formed as an association, and so we're glad to partner. We've been working behind the scenes and plan to continue to stay behind the scenes with KBC and the various groups in the Hall of Fame and the beautiful building they've developed in E-Town and all of the various people that are involved in this celebration. So I want to welcome all of you here, and we look forward to working and letting them celebrate their centennial next year with the state basketball tournament 2018.
Thanks, Julian. This actually began at the boys' Sweet 16 in Lexington, where we tipped it off, and then we finished inducting the Centennial class of Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame over at E-Town this summer. Opened that facility up, and then the documentary on the sports history entitled 32, Our Basketball Story, premiered. It's been a labor of love, and nobody has labored more on it than Ken Tribbett. If those of you, if there's anybody in the room that has been called less than 100 times by Ken, please raise your hand, because he would be in a small minority. Typically he calls when he's on sabbatical from Florida and his wife is busy, and at that moment in time he wants you to jump to it. And so that's why we were all here today. But in all seriousness, Ken has been all over the state. He's gone out and knocked on doors, gotten people involved with their time and resources, and Ken, of course, is with the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame. And Ken, we'll turn it over to you.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and its personnel, Commissioner Tackett, Marilyn Mitchell, and their staff, Butch Coe, and all the people here that have made this possible. They've worked with us very diligently. Yesterday, we sent out packets to all 260 plus schools in the state of Kentucky, and we worked here to put those packets together, and they got them mailed out for us. That's what partnership is all about. It's about people sharing with each other. And actually, that's what the game of basketball is all about. It's a game of sharing. The game of basketball in the state of Kentucky, this is the 100th anniversary, and we're asking our schools and community all across this state to celebrate as one this beautiful game. A game that has given more joy to more people than we can count. From parents of players to the players themselves, from the coaches to the referees to the media. What a wonderful game that came actually from 17 schools in 1917 that came to form this organization, the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. 20 years later, there were 500 playing basketball in the state. And I don't know what the top number was. Julian said 600 plus at one time were playing basketball in this state. We have a listing of over 1,000 schools that have played basketball in the state of Kentucky since 1900. Our Hall of Fame has 9 concrete walls by region. Every school and their mascot that ever laid a basketball on the floor and had a kid shoot it, girls and boys. Black schools that were not allowed to play in Kentucky for something like 30-some years. All the schools, all inclusive, all our people. Because I see Kentucky high school basketball probably as much as being Kentucky basketball as any entity in our state. And I know that people who love University of Kentucky may shiver a little bit on that. But how many of our people have played the game? all across this state, from every inline to inline, north, south, east, and west. We are Kentucky basketball. We were actually the roots of this popular game, where people learn to be fans of the game, learn to play the game, learn to referee the game. So we are, as a High School Basketball Hall of Fame, we're committed to any project that enhances the sport of high school basketball, and we will be do it diligently. 100 phone calls if necessary, maybe a few more. But we are committed to this sport because we believe in it and what it means to so many people and the joy that it brought to them. Now, I'd like to introduce a few other people that are here today that have been a part of our Centennial Committee, a big part of it. Curtis Turley, who is our Vice Chairman. Curtis, if you'd stand, and remain standing. Nolan Barger, our Assistant Commissioner, Chairman of our committee. Remain standing, Nolan, if you would, remain standing. Paul Najar, who is the Chief Operating Officer for our Hall of Fame in Elizabethtown. Jeff Bridgman and Jeff Cooper. Where are you two guys? Where are you? Stand up. They are two people who put together the Encyclopedia of High School Basketball, which is this book, 600 plus pages, that documents our game from the beginning to about 6 years ago. The good thing, those 6 years, this year, the Centennial version of this book will be coming out that covers it all. All sports, all schools will be in the new book. And Jeff, our research analyst for the High School Basketball Hall of Fame, and Jeff over there, Jeff Cooper, they put together a wonderful piece of work that they're going to even enhance this year. They're also part of our fantasy series that we're doing on getting a competition going online of state champion teams that we're going to take teams from the 30s, or excuse me, from the 40s maybe, playing teams from the 80s in a fantasy game online. And what will that do? And we have them, he put together some type of numbers game that makes it work. But how is it, how cool is it that Brewers, undefeated state champions in the late 40s, would be playing Madison Central, champions of high school basketball 4 years ago? Now, how can you do that? Well, you can't do it unless you do it through a mathematical scheme and get people talking about our great sport. This is what we're doing. We're doing individual games, and we're doing the state tournament this year. And we have already the games that are going to be played, regional and on up. We have a Cinderella tournament. It's going to be something. Commissioner, bear with us. You may get some calls on how we come up with the scores of those games, but it's going to be a wonderful year. This Centennial, we're working hard, and our website director, Chris Slater, is going to be right at the heart of it, and he will be feeling the heat more than anybody else, but he can handle it. He played for me at Pikeville, and he can handle the heat. Anyway, thank you for being here. We look forward to a great year, and again, thank you, Commissioner, and thank the KHSAA for their involvement.
Thank you, Ken. We've been blessed to have wonderful players, wonderful coaches through that 100 years of high school basketball. Scott Jock led our Dunbar Bulldogs to a state championship a couple of years ago, and he still serves as our coach and is also the head of the Kentucky Association of Basketball Coaches, and he is here in that role this morning. Scott?
Thanks, Dave. I'd just like to briefly, first of all, thank everyone involved, especially the Centennial Committee, which Ken was instrumental in putting together, with Commissioner Tackett involved in it, and so many people that are here today and that are not even here today represented, but a large number of people that committed themselves for about a year and a half to really work on this thing and try to get it together so that we can have a great Centennial celebration. The Coaches Association has been involved in the front of really helping with the logo contest and with the slogan information, that kind of stuff, the state of basketball, which we thought was appropriate. I personally have had the opportunity to coach against teams and in places almost all 50 states, and there's no place like Kentucky. There's no coaches like Kentucky. There's no basketball like Kentucky. It truly is the state of basketball. We do it differently. We do it better than everywhere else, and it's special here, and it's because of the heritage, the 100 years that's gone by, and how much it means to people that aren't even necessarily involved, just to people in the bluegrass, and how much it's meant to them. So we feel like it's really special, something worth celebrating. We're excited about it, of course, from our vantage point, but our coaches are committed to really trying to make this a special year individually within their schools and their communities throughout the state. And that's been kind of the way this thing is set up, to try to be a statewide celebration, to be something that kind of goes throughout the flavor of Kentucky, and we're hoping that can continue right up to the state tournament, and it'll be a very special, special ending to a year-long celebration. And I just want to mention quickly, I can't believe that Ken did mention it, because it's one of his high points he likes to mention all the time, which I think is really exciting, which is there's nothing like this that's ever been undertaken before, really. A celebration that's lasted a year, a Centennial celebration that's had so many different facets to it, to try to promote something across the board that could reach everybody in the bluegrass and in the state of Kentucky. So we're excited about it. We think it's a great thing, and I'm just, we're pleased to be a part of it, and I'm, humbled to be out, have the opportunity to lead these coaches and this association and be a part of it. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Scott. You have never seen Dr. Everett McCorvey on the sidelines, but he has a way of showing up at the biggest games, because he can really set the tone for what's going on. But I will also tell you, there has been no greater champion for kids in our state than Dr. McCorvey, in terms of what he's done with opportunities for young people, what he's done with his program. And it doesn't make any difference what's going on. Whenever Everett is asked to help, he doesn't ask for details. He just asks, okay, when do we get going? We appreciate it so much. And he's here today to talk to us about the UK Opera Theatre introducing Bounce, the basketball opera. And I've heard nothing about this, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, the first thing, thank you very much, and thank you for having me as part of this press conference. I'll say is that art imitates life, and art is a part of life. And it was my goal, being here in Kentucky and a part of UK Opera Theatre, that we make sure that we take art to the people, art through music. And as a result, we have opera programs that start with kids in kindergarten. It's called SOUP, the Schmidt Opera Outreach Program. And we present about 130 productions a year around the state for young people to engage them in the arts. Art also changes people, just like basketball does. And I talk all the time about why is it that basketball is so popular in Kentucky. And I think one of the reasons is that we grow our basketball players and we grow our fans. Babies leave the hospital in UK basketball jerseys. And so we're doing the same in the arts. We want these kids to know art and music from the very beginning of their life, and something that they can practice and participate in throughout their life. So about 3 years ago, I was at a National Endowment for the Arts meeting, and I heard about a company in New York that wanted to produce a basketball opera. And I thought, well, wait a minute, you cannot produce a basketball opera without involving the basketball mecca of the universe, the University of Kentucky in the state of Kentucky. And so I met a lady in New York by the name of Greta Holby. She's the executive director of Ardea Arts, and they write operas for young people and for communities. And so Greta is here today. I just wanted to introduce her, Greta Holby. And Greta and I have been working for 3 years on this Bounce project. Bounce is a basketball opera, and it talks about choices. It's written on it talks about the flight of Icarus, and it's written on that story, but it evolves around a character by the name of Flight, who grows very tall very quickly and has to make choices. And he doesn't always make the right choice, but he is willing to take responsibility for his choices. And so it's a great work. It's not necessary, we call it an opera, but it has all of the American music traditions in it. It has Broadway, it has gospel, it has rap, it has hip hop, and it has even something called EDM, which the young people know, electric dance music. And, but it is something for the young people, and I think you will enjoy it. I want to introduce a couple of other people and then have you hear something from the opera Bounce. First, I'd like to introduce Casey Robards, who's the assistant music director on the presentation, and Marcellus Barksdale, who is a basketball player here he played high school basketball here and now plays over in Europe. And so he's just on a hiatus to help us with coaching our basketball team. We have a real basketball team. It's going to take place on the court. It's going to be Calvary Baptist Church Recreation Center. And they play basketball and they sing. It's pretty amazing. And I'd like to introduce Philip Gay, who is our star in the show. And he's going to sing a piece from Bounce. But before he sings it, I want to tell you that when I talked to Ken about Bounce, he said, you know, this game, this beautiful game, we want to celebrate this game. And those were the lyrics in our song. Wow. And we didn't even make the connection. So I've asked Philip to come and sing from Bounce, this game, this beautiful game. Philip Gay.
Game has given me joy, given me pain, but this game has always been a friend, soothing my soul with each shot at the rim. This game allows the quiet ones to speak, with crossovers, jump shots, and high-flying feet on a full-court stage of hardwood and concrete. This game is my instrument. This game is my drum beat. This game gave me the strength to reclaim my name. So I celebrate my love for this game, this beautiful game. We celebrate our love for this game, this beautiful game. We celebrate our love for this game.
Thank you, Philip. The shows are November 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Calvary Recreation Center. And we're also very interested in taking it throughout Kentucky. And so one of the reasons we're here is because we are interested in going into community centers around the state and basketball gyms around the state, engaging with people, talking about making the right choices in life. And so we hope that we can celebrate the Centennial throughout the state as we celebrate Bounce as well. Thank you all so much.
That's awesome. So for people that are interested in maybe trying to get it in their town or something,
yes,
contact you?
Yes, the number is area code 859-257-9331. That's at ukoperatheater.org.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And based on the knowledge that I have of all these people, except for I'm sure that none of them were involved in an open casting call for parts in this. Although we could get Scott and Ken on there as coaches, I'm sure we could get along on or something. But thank you very much, Everett. That's exciting. All right, we've got a couple things we want to talk about and then open it up for your questions. As Everett said, there's a lot of this that's not only happening here, but it's going out to every school in the state. Jeff Foltz with the Centennial Committee, he's the finance chairman, is here to my left, and he's going to talk to us about the school packets. This is going to seem extremely boring compared to whoever picked the order of this. Yeah, thanks. Centennial Committee, just real quickly, we have probably been working about 18 months, and we probably have a committee of in excess of 20 folks, all drafted by Coach Tribbett. Kenny was my coach in college for a few years, and so when he calls, I'm afraid that I'll be in trouble, so I have to jump on board. But seriously, we've met again for 18 months. We've had a devotional from Ken each meeting that we went to. His enthusiasm, his passion, as you can tell, your song and your lyrics, they match very well. And this game does mean something to the state. In particular, I think I represent the folks that don't necessarily make a living with basketball or high school sports. As I've said oftentimes, I didn't make a living playing high school or playing basketball, but I'm able to make a pretty good living from what I learned playing basketball. And I think that reaches the very soul of a lot of Kentuckians here. We've all participated, and it does mean something to us. But to that, the Centennial Committee has been working really hard to develop some school packets so that we can get this information to all 260 plus schools. As Ken said, the packets went out earlier this week, and what they contain are going to be logo shirts with the really nice Centennial logo on them. Bag tags, I think this is really nice. The kids really enjoy bag tags. That's something that they can put on their tags to recognize it. We want to have visuals everywhere you turn about how special this year is for Kentucky high school basketball. Commemorative coins, I think you may have seen some of those. If not, you need to get one in your hands. These are really nice mementos. There is a manual. Probably the most boring piece of it may be the most important piece of it. It's suggestions and ways that you can engage the administration, the athletic directors, the coaches, the players, and most importantly, your community that contains a lot of folks just like myself that love this game, that don't necessarily deal with it each and every day. Reach out to those folks. Let's re-engage them back to not only basketball, but to high school sports. It certainly is a worthy cause, and it means a lot to our communities. One other thing, the final sort of detail is a floor decal that we're working. We want each high school in the state of Kentucky to have a logo of the Centennial on each gym floor, so that each game played during the year will have the Centennial logo on the floor. We're trying to, those things are expensive, and we're right now working to secure regional sponsorships so we can have those put down in all the gymnasiums. Slam Dunk Sports Marketing is the group that's doing that for us. If you happen to know anybody that would like to pick up a very reasonably priced regional sponsorship where their business will be advertised on the gym floor, it's an awesome opportunity. And just in closing, we ask, again, all administrators, ADs, coaches to get involved. And as Kenny said many times, let's make this a season to remember. Thank you.
Thanks, Chip. Awesome stuff. Coach Tribbett, how about talking about the educational component, please?
Well, we have an educational component. Ann Upchurch could not be here today. She had prior engagement. She's a member of our committee and heads up our educational end of it. We are having two parts to an educational component. One, through the cooperation of Elizabethtown City Schools, we put together lesson plans that schools across the state can pull off from the elementary level, middle school level, and high school level, and make it part of it. It is totally based on the state requirements of the lesson plan in this state, using basketball as a centerpiece of these lesson plans. And so that is on our website and will be available to all schools throughout the state of Kentucky. We've worked with our superintendents to help us leverage down a little bit of information so that the teachers will be aware of it. But they can go online, pull that off. Any teacher in the state of Kentucky can pull that lesson plan off and even create one from that lesson plan. So it's a way of engaging potentially every student in the state of Kentucky. We're also doing a documentary competition. We did one last year called A Basketball Story, won by two kids that did a documentary, about a 10-minute documentary on girls basketball, the origins of girls basketball. And we gave scholarships last year in Rupp Arena at the STLP conference in Rupp Arena, and I never knew that so many people were so many students were that interested in technology. But they had over 12,000 people there for that STLP conference. That almost borders on being a rival for basketball in high school. So anyway, we have a documentary competition this year. It's called Lost Schools. We've had over 700 schools that have played basketball in this state and no longer play. And they've been consolidated into schools. And we're asking the existing schools to look into their landscape around them and find those lost schools and do a documentary. Tell their story that they can no longer tell. Tell the story of the school and embed a basketball story in that story. So that documentary competition will be giving scholarships out to the winners in every region. Every region will hope 16 regions will have a winner, and they'll have a scholarship available to them and an award that we'll give out at the STLP conference in Rupp Arena in April. So those are two entities that our committee has worked hard on, and I can't say enough about our committee because there is no I in this Centennial committee because so many people work so hard and so many ideas have been expressed. You can't use them all, but we've tried to take the best of them and make them work. So that is our educational component that will be online in our KHSBK 100 website, and it's up and going. And so we hope our schools will take advantage of this opportunity to be involved in education. Thank you, Dave.
Ken, you're absolutely right. And, you know, this committee can help folks connect up with people. I know many of us have had the opportunity to be in some of those law schools. You go into, for instance, the old Car Creek gym, you know, down in eastern Kentucky, and it's like a museum, and it's a treasure. And so hopefully kids can get into that and appreciate that great history here. The website is khsbk100.com. Of course, that's with the www, as we say. But khbk100.com. Chris Slater, the webmaster. Chris?
Thanks, Dave. It's khsbk100.com, and we're also khsbk100 on all social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So everything that everyone's mentioned here today will all be aggregated, and the information will be available to you via the website. Some of the things we already have on the website that people have mentioned before was the logo contest. And the winner of that was Haley Glenn from Callaway County. And thanks to the KHSAA and Julian for running that contest. The video contest, the name of the winner was Rise, the Revival of Women's Basketball by Mason Bibb and Trey Bout from Highlands High School. As Coach Trivett already mentioned, the lessons plans for teachers are already published, available for download. The Centennial manual that's being sent out right now, if there are any changes or anything that needs to be updated, it'll be on the website, so check off it. Our goal is to make the website as interactive as possible for the coaches, players, students, fans, and local businesses, as they said in the community. So please, log into the website as often as you can, check and share our content. You can follow us on the social media. You can use the hashtag KHSBK100. All you have to do is upload your content to any of the social media platforms. We'll collect it and aggregate it. And we'll be doing contests, giveaways, and prizes. We're going to be giving away the Centennial mementos, t-shirts, encyclopedias. And if you have any questions, email khsbk100@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. We appreciate it. What would a 100-year celebration be without competition? And it's time now to talk about the Kentucky-Indiana Challenge Cup. Gary Lawson is the game director. Gary?
This is the 5th year of the Kentucky-Indiana Challenge Cup. This event actually supports both the Kentucky and the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. And we play 5 games. Right now, we're playing 4 boys games and 1 girls game. We put together what we feel are some of the better, if not the best, teams in Kentucky versus teams in Indiana. We played at different venues. We felt like we had a fairly stable venue in the convention center there in Frankfurt, but we lost the convention center. So we were very fortunate this year in the fact that Central Hardin High School kind of bailed us out. If any of you have ever been to Central Hardin, you realize it's a large high school, a very nice gymnasium, and is located in close proximity to our Hall of Fame there in Elizabethtown. So we're moving the games this year from the Civic Center to Central Hardin High School. And we think this is a good move. And as I say, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that they were very accommodating, rescheduled some events they had at their school for us to have this. So we really appreciate that. In the past 4 Challenge Cups we've had, we have a traveling trophy. And the state that wins 3 of the 5 games gets the trophy. And we've been able in Kentucky to keep the trophy all 4 years. So we're shooting to do that again this year. But we do, I think we've brought together our best format that we've had in the 5 years this year. And I do want to mention, if I have the time, the teams that are participating, because it's on January the 6th, the first Saturday in January. It is the date for the Challenge Cup. Game 1 will be Bullitt East High School and Russellville High School out of Indiana. Game 2 at 2 o'clock will be Oldham County High School and Oldenburg Academy out of Indiana. Game 3 pits probably at preseason will be the 2 top girls teams, the top girls team in the state of Kentucky, the top girls team in Indiana, Mercer County High School out of Kentucky, and Jeffersonville High School out of Indiana. And that game will be played at 4. And game 4 is Covington Catholic boys versus Oak Hill High School out of Indiana. That'll be at 6 o'clock. Covington Catholic will also be a very high-rated team. But then game 5, the accumulating game, the final game of the day, pits 2 of the top boys teams in both states. Scott County High School out of Kentucky will play Evansville Boise out of Indiana at 8 p.m. So we feel like we put together a really good format. And I know I see some people sitting around here that love the game, and we invite anybody that does to come and enjoy our games, and it goes for a good cause to support the Hall of Fame. And I know Ken's worked on some activities where we might be able to tie this game now to the Hall of Fame because it's in such close proximity. So maybe imploding the Civic Center actually helped us. I hope so. We would probably be the only agency. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. Coach, tell us about the Ultimate Champions Challenge.
Well, I alluded to it a while ago about that we're going to have fantasy games, so to speak, on our website, and people can log in and play, and then have winners. Actually, we're going to have them, like I say, pick a game, but not only pick the game, try to pick the score of the game, so that we take those scores and if we pick the winner. That's not enough. If we pick the score the closest, that'll be the winner. So it's going to be a real challenge for our fans to do some research and to hopefully buy this book so you can research the game a little better and know who might be your picks. So this is kind of like a racing form of the Centennial year. So, but that's all going to be online. We're going to be pushing that out to the public, and Chris Slater, but of course Jeff Bridgman down there, our research analyst, is a key component there. And if you want to blame anybody, blame him. Okay, go ahead, Dan.
KHSAA Assistant Commissioner Butch Cope is joining us now. This is the time of year where he's just beside himself because his beloved Cardinals were nowhere near the playoffs. And so he has put all of his efforts into the 2018 Sweet 16. Mr. Coe.
Thank you. A couple of things that we're doing in conjunction with the tournament, because obviously that's going to be the culminating project of this year-long celebration, is recognition of those schools that Mr. Trivett mentioned that are no longer in existence, as well as those that are in existence but aren't making the tournament, through our in-arena signage, how we can give some exposure to all of those on that, and again, just share the history of all those region participants. The other thing that we're going to work with the group is we're going to be producing a commemorative program that will be celebrating the 100 years of the Sweet 16, now that we just had the 100th year of the tournament, that will have all the past tournament champions in there. You may have remembered the 75th edition that was published a few years back, where we're going to come back and do that and update that, and that will be for sale there on site with the venue. In addition to working with any other, talked about brainstorming some areas there within the facility and outside the facility with regard to displays and the sharing the story aspect as well. Just providing any support that we can to the overall effort on that.
But those are two great ideas. Thanks to you and Julian both. Those are two really good ideas. Looking forward to seeing those. And finally, Coach, you want to talk about the Centennial Encyclopedia?
Well, I just kind of have been promoting it all along, but the good Christmas present this year, if you have a basketball people in the family, the new edition, the Centennial edition, that covers all the years of high school basketball, up and including last year's state tournament, will be coming out December 1st this year, and will be for sale. And what a great Christmas present to your grandparents or your parents of people around the state. So we encourage them to be looking for this, the flyers and things that will be on our website of how to get in touch and how to purchase this particular book. Also, I want to mention something. These commissioners, I'm sure, Dr. Corby, enjoyed the music. These are all the past commissioners, their portraits up there, and I've had the pleasure to work, I don't think with all of them, but several of them, and they are a good-looking group of people. Good-looking group of people, and I know they enjoyed the music. Also with us over here to my right is one of my favorite people in high school basketball history. Al Pruitt was not only a great basketball player at Henry Clay, he stayed true to his alma mater and spent his coaching career right there in Lexington at Henry Clay. I think he even played against my dad's teams, and my dad is long gone for several years, and I think you played against his teams, I'm sure, at Pikeville. My dad coached at Pikeville High School. Al is not, I don't call him a legend, I think he's bigger than that. I think he's the type of person that high school basketball has produced over the years. He went back to his high school and taught kids the game of basketball, taught school, and embedded himself in the Lexington community. And he's a Hall of Fame member in our Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame. And I'm proud to introduce you to him today and say thank you, Al, for a wonderful career and what you meant to the state.
Yeah, I appreciate those kind words. I really do. I thought maybe you was talking about somebody else. I appreciate it, and being inducted into the Hall of Fame was a great honor for me. And I think these people do one of the greatest jobs that there is. And he called me last night, and I'm not going to tell you why I was a little late. Only Buzz would know, only Teddy. I went to the old KHSAA building.
You were tailgating on
I swear, even before he said that, I was going to say no oral history could be complete of high school athletics in Kentucky without about 6 hours worth of Al Pruitt. I promise you, you will never spend a more enjoyable time listening to the stories that he has about his experience in high school athletics. And boy, he could flat coach too. And we're delighted you're here. Thanks, Coach. Kenny, can people pre-order the book? Is there a way that they can pre-order on the website or something like that?
There will be.
Okay, all right. So we'll get that information to you. Okay, so if anybody's got any questions in this format, we'll be glad to take them. All these folks up here will be around to answer questions of the media individually if you'd like, but if anybody's got any questions up here in general, if not, we can break it down and you all can ask your questions. Yes, sir.
I want to give some questions out to, for the, Chris, you come over here and give the books out for the winners. First hand up, we're going to do a little Q&A about high school basketball history and see who's around. We're going to do this fairly quickly, so first hand up. What year did the Sweet 16 move from Louisville Armory to brand spanking new Memorial Coliseum? What year was that? Anybody in this room can answer that question. Memorial Coliseum we know of, but the Armory in Louisville is where some of the early state tournaments came about. The new Memorial Coliseum was, when was it? The first year it was in existence. The state tournament went there. Any answers? Anybody got any answers? 1951 is the year the Memorial Coliseum hosted the first state basketball tournament. For 4 years, the Commonwealth was divided into 8 regions. What year did the KHSAA decide to have 16 regions instead of 8 and have the Sweet 16? Commissioner, you can answer those too. You got an answer. Anybody have an answer? Anybody have any answer to that? That was in 1932 that the Sweet 16 became the Sweet 16. What future, this is a good one, what future NFL legendary coach got his beginnings at Paris as a head basketball coach? Yes. Blanton Collier. Blanton Collier. That is correct.
There we go.
You've never been to a clinic without getting a prize.
But he also comes prepared because anybody that knows Ken knows that this is always a part of any presentation that he does. It's the educational component.
That's right. Who is the winningest boys basketball coach in Kentucky history? Yes. Yes.
Somebody.
Billy Hicks. Billy Hicks is correct. Who is the winningest girls high school basketball coach in Kentucky history? Girls. You can't win 2.
Somebody else.
Think about it now. I will give you a hint. It's in the mountains. One of the hotbeds of basketball in the mountains. Yes.
Randy Naker.
Randy Naker is correct back here. Randy Naker is correct. He has, Billy Hicks has 941 wins. Randy Naker by our stats has 861. My goodness, how that might be. Just think all the defeats that go with that. Name any boys team that has won back-to-back titles in Kentucky high school basketball. Any boys team that won back-to-back. Yeah. Fairdale is correct. There have been several. Lexington High School, 1918-20. Seneca High School is what the Great West Sun School and Mike Red, 63-64. Mayo, 1970-71, and Fairdale, 1991. Who are the all-time leading scoring leader in Kentucky basketball history, boys? All-time leading scorer in basketball. Oh my goodness, I can't believe they forgot him. Who, Marilyn? Who is it? Have we forgot him? He's royal. Who?
You said the King.
King Kelly Coleman is correct. King Kelly Coleman. They named him after King Cole. Cole was running hot and heavy in the mountains of eastern Kentucky when King Kelly started pouring in the points. And they gave him the name the same as they gave Cole. King Cole, they gave him the name King Kelly Coleman. What a legend he was. Who is the, oh, this is a good one. It has changed recently. Who is the all-time girl scoring leader? All-time girl scoring leader. Whitney Creech from Little Jenkins High School. She scored 5,527 points. I don't think I scored that many points in practice games.
She's still nice at her elbow.
Who was the first Mr. Basketball? Who? No. He's a fast talker. He's a fast talker. Many of you heard him. Going.
Yeah, what do you get?
Going. It was Vernon Hatton. He's an auctioneer here in Lexington. Vernon Hatton in 1954. He also was known playing at UK, played on a national championship team, and also made the longest shot, one of the longest shots ever in the history of Kentucky basketball. Who was the first boys All-A Classic winner? The first one. First boys All-A Classic winner. University Heights Academy. Okay. Okay, that's it. We've got 100 of, we say this, every day from 100 days out, 100 days out to the state tournament, there will be a question on our website with a picture. If you can identify the picture and answer the question both, then you will be eligible for the prize that will be given away at the end of that 100 days. So each day there will be something new on that website, an opportunity to interact with our website. Thanks.
Again, thank you all for being here. Those of you in the media, I'm sure Ken and anybody you'd like to talk to will be around for questions. We appreciate it so much, and we appreciate your help in helping to make this a season to remember. Thank you very much.
All Centennial committee members, if you would stay, all Centennial committee members, we need to have a word with you, please. Whether or not you're just getting. We'll be in touch, and then we can help. Okay.